Good night, my little friends. Are you ready for another bedtime story with Aunty Shen? Well, hope you're all tucked in. Tonight we'll be reading from the Andersen's Fairy Tales. Tonight's story is entitled The Snow Queen. In a large city lived a little boy named Kay and a little girl named Gerda. They played together in the summertime in the fields, and when the snow began to fly, they got their sleds and went skimming down the hills. One day, Kay took his sled down to the public square and was playing with the other boys when he noticed a large sleigh painted all in white, and in it sat a figure muffled up in a shaggy white fur with a cap on. The sleigh drove 10 times round the square, and Kay fastened his sled to it. It drove faster and faster and then turned into one of the streets that ran out of the square. The snow began to fall thickly, and Kay thought he had better start back for home. He tried to unfasten his sled, but he found he could not get loose. On they flew as fast as the wind, clean off the ground and over the hedges. At last, the big sleigh stopped, and the person driving it stood up. And Kay now saw that it was a lady, tall and slim and dazzlingly white. "I am the Snow Queen," she said. "Don't you want to come and see what a beautiful place I live in?" The little boy felt so cold he could make no answer. So she came and lifted him out of his sled and put him beside her and tucked the big fur robe around him. Then off they went again. It was a long, dreary winter for Gerda, who missed her little playmate. One day in the spring, when she was out in the woods, an old woman came to her and said, "My child, come, and you will see the most beautiful garden in the world." Gerda was fond of flowers, and she followed the old woman, who led her through some winding paths and at last brought her to the garden. Oh, how sweet and beautiful! There were all kinds of flowers of every season of the year, and Gerda played here many days in the warm sunshine. Before she knew it, winter had come again. One day, there came a raven hopping over the snow. "Caw, caw," said the raven. "If you knew what I know, you would be happy." "What? What do you know?" asked Gerda. "I know where Kay is," said the raven. And now Gerda's heart was all aflutter. "Oh, is he still alive? And will you tell me how I can find him?" "Yes," said the raven, "as soon as I have spoken with the robber girl." Gerda did not know what the raven meant by the robber girl. But very soon she was to know, for in a few days, back came the raven perched on the shoulder of a strong-looking girl. "I am the robber girl," she said. "I live here in the woods, and the menfolk go out and take the treasures of rich men. But we are kind to poor folk. The raven has told me about your little friend Kay, and I have come to take you to him." So away went Gerda with the robber girl, who led her to where a reindeer was standing. She lifted Gerda onto its back, put cushions and robes around her, and then said, "Now go, reindeer, away to the Snow Queen's kingdom, where this little girl's playmate is. Take good care of her." Then the reindeer, with Gerda on its back, bounded away, over the hedges and fields faster and faster. Away up in frozen Lapland, the door of a little hut, built right in the snow, opened, and an old woman came out to give them food and drink. Then away they went again. At last the reindeer stopped. "We are just outside the Snow Queen's palace," it said. "I cannot go in, but you may enter. Go straight on over the ice and you will see your playmate. You will find him cold, for he has become one of the Snow Queen's family, and they are all frozen to the heart. If you sing a hymn or weep hard enough, you may break the spell. I will wait here, but do not linger, for I must hurry back. Gerda felt as if she were almost frozen herself, and when she looked all about her, there was nothing but great icebergs, and away in the distance, something that looked like a palace of diamonds. But she went on and on and on, and coming close to the great palace, which she now saw was an ice palace, she caught sight of Kay standing all alone. She ran over the ice to him as fast as she could and put her arms around him. "Kay, dear little Kay," she cried, "I have found you at last." But he stood quite still, stiff and cold, and little Gerda cried bitter, burning tears. But she thought she saw a flush begin to come into his frozen cheeks, and then, remembering what the reindeer had said, she began to sing. "The rose blooms, but its glory pass. Christmas then comes so fast." And like magic, new life came into the cold body of Kay, and when he saw his little playmate, he cried out in delight, "Gerda! Is it really you, little Gerda? Where have you been all this time? And where?" Then the reindeer with Gerda on its back bounded away. See, we have Gerda right there on the back of the reindeer. Let's find out what happens next. But Gerda did not stop to answer his questions. "We must hurry," she said. "The reindeer will think we aren't coming." She caught his arm and quickly led him out of the Snow Queen's domain. In a few moments, they were on the back of the reindeer, hurrying back over the fields of snow and ice. Nor did the reindeer stop till it reached the city where Gerda and Kay lived. Kay and Gerda are married now and have children of their own. And of all the stories the children love to hear, they like best the one about the Snow Queen. Hope you enjoyed that story. Thanks for reading with Aunty Shen. Good night.